Hi everyone, Malibu Sean Bateman here again. Well, it's Super Bowl weekend, and it's between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. And upside for this year, there's gonna be no Deflategate, which happened last year, and look what happened. Tom Brady got five games of suspension, but got appealed, and he didn't do those game suspensions, which I consider bullshit. To me, those games I should, if I was running the NFL last year, I would strip the Patriots of their Super Bowl win and give it to the Seahawks by default because of about Deflategate, and suspend the coach of the Patriots and Tom Brady from the NFL for 5 years because of it, and also the people who knew about the deflating of balls, and so forth, to show people in the NFL the players association that I am a firm commissioner of the NFL if I do it that way. And also I found out that I don't know who's doing the national anthem for the Super Bowl in San Francisco. I heard it's Lady Gaga, and I said, why do you have a modern day Cher singing the national anthem for a football game? You think most of the people in the audience, in the stands, they are not, most of them may not be into Lady Gaga. And also the halftime show, I heard that Coldplay's doing it. Yeah, most people are outraged they have Coldplay. A few months ago I heard that it was gonna be Guns N' Roses. Now it's Coldplay. You see, to me, there's a fine line for American football. You see, you have most people in their 40s and 50s that go to the games. You have to cater to their tastes. Like a few years ago, they had Paul McCartney there, and heck, that's pretty nice. You have to cater to the fan, those kind of fans, and also have some people who want to hear American rock during the halftime show, or that's why I have Guns N' Roses, or something that those fans cater to, but not have people like Lady Gaga or Coldplay playing at those games. And heck, back up in the Grey Cup a couple years ago, halftime show, they had Carly Rae Jepsen and Justin Bieber playing. You see, why in the fuck would you put people who may or may not fuck up because of their child being child celebrities into a big event? You see, Justin Bieber, he's still going through hell right now for doing all this stuff before there, and hell, and also, to me, you have to think about the fans who buy tickets to watch a football game. They're not. Last time I checked, it's not teenagers going to football, and then for a football game, you have to cater to the people who are been part of the fans of a certain team for, I don't know, about 30, 40 years, but not the new fans. Because you have to think about, like I said, the fans who's a long time fan of a certain team, or that's been like I said, for being a diehard fan of a certain team for since they were born, or been watching every single football game at Super Bowl since the first one that came out 1966. Yeah, it's been, and so there's some people that you have to think of those people as well, but not having the same stuff over and over again. But and sure, then to me you have to think about who you're gonna have as the halftime show, and what they do the same thing as what happened a couple years about, I don't know, about a decade ago with Janet Jackson and the exposing of her nipple, which is kind of made hit world headlines for at least a couple weeks after the Super Bowl. You have to think like that, and that's why if I was, and also back to the football game, Super Bowl, you think it happens every first Sunday of the NFL season of February, and you have to think, where are some good places to have your Super Bowl? Sure, it's always down in the South, like in Miami, or down in Dallas, or Arizona, maybe Southern California. But you have to think about the northern states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Washington State. You have to think about those states and those places, and also Illinois and Indiana. You have to think about those states. But after every single year, you have I don't know how many cities that have an NFL team. You have to think every year. Have 1 year have it in Indianapolis, then have it in Tampa, then have it in Dallas, then Seattle, then over to New York, or then back over to Houston, and you have to cycle through every city that has an NFL team once before going back to a city that held the Super Bowl. And heck, and also that should happen during the NFL draft as well. And for example, if a state has two or three NFL teams, why not? For example, if the Super Bowl Sunday, have it as in Dallas, while in the All-Star game, I expect the All-Star game, which is in Hawaii, which I think is a nice thing to do, but sometimes I have to do it in Jamaica or another state, or an island country or territory. And also back to what I was saying, Super Bowl Sunday, have it, if it's in Dallas, have it there, and the NFL draft, have it in Houston, just to balance out the economy for the state of Texas. And also talk about one of my earlier vlogs I did. I talked about what I like to see the NFL and CFL do. And one idea I came out with, instead of having a NFL game playing in Canada on a Canadian football field, why not have half exhibition games up in Canada against CFL teams, and the other half of the CFL teams that are not playing in Canada for the exhibition games, have those teams come on America and play, and that there's only 9 teams so for the CFL, so that team that's not playing in the exhibition games, they get a bye until next year, so they can have a cycle, so they can have each team gets a bye year, so you can actually take notes on the so the CFL players that might have a chance to play down in NFL in a few years can actually study the playing of their possible team they may be going to in the NFL, like Warren Moon did, Jerry Garcia, the football player, not the. It's Jeff Garcia, my bad, and the study who will happen to study the field and also those CFL players that play on the NFL field. They can actually test. It'll be a kind of a test drive on playing on the NFL field if they really want to go down to the NFL, and also that. I like to see, and also for the NFL right now, it's actually having some more teams, but in different states that doesn't have an NFL team. Like, why not put an NFL team in Utah or Wyoming or maybe in one of the two Dakotas, or maybe put a team in Baton Rouge or Maine or Oregon. But hey, I'm not in the NFL. I'm not part of the NFL committee, and this is Malibu Sean Bateman signing off.